The alarming increase in crime among students across the country has sparked a series of emotions, raising eyebrows and leaving behind a chain of blame games. Our reporter Hadia Mosiwa had a vast discussion with Edith Ora, who is a psychologist, and this is a second segment of the discussion.
Many families were living apart, either because of work, and now most jobs closed down. So parents were back at home. Maybe these parents, because this was an unplanned thing, the resources ran out by the first month. Because remember, nobody gave people guidelines what to buy.
True.
So what are people buying? Lots of tissue papers.
And no food.
And no food.
Yeah.
So the stocks were running out by the third week. And we saw when people were trying to give food to the people, you saw people fighting and struggling and scrambling for food, and even people getting injured because there was no food. Suddenly you realize no one explained to the public, to the masses, this is what is basic. Buy dry foods, use your food wisely, because we need it for we don't know how long this would be. So you see, already there's no food in the house, already there's no schooling, already there's no Wi-Fi, and there's no money coming in. So how do a parent who has got a 3-year-old, a 7-year-old, a 13-year-old, an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 20, what do you expect in that house? They're in a one-roomed house. So, and because of the lack of certain things that were basic, and the lack of being able to travel out because there are restrictions, then every small answer that is supposed to be corrective becomes punitive. So the wife asked the husband, we don't have food for tomorrow. When all that, you finish all that. So they start exchanging. And what actually seeing, there's an exchange.
True.
But in the exchange, somehow food comes. So they also learn, if I also insist, I will get what I want. 1 week, 1 month, 3 months, and the children have learned their parents much more. The things they never knew, maybe they never saw their parents fight. This time they've been fighting. Because if the man used to go out and come back at 11 in the night, there's curfew, so there was no going out.
True.
If the man used to stay out the whole day going to work, whether he worked or he stole or he did whatever, there's no going out, no going to work. So there were all of them in the family. So chances are, children also observed, and they saw a lot of violence even in their home. People should not say that the violence that is COVID contributed is intentional, in as much as it's global. If you look through media, you look through everywhere, you find there's been pockets of violence across the globe. There have been more suicides during this COVID time. There's been more depression during this COVID times. There's been more drug use, illicit drug. There's been more funny things happening this time. Just because the world was put into a prison and many people are not emotionally well. There's a difference between being mentally unwell and being emotionally unwell. Because you can be mentally sick because that's how you've been born with that nature. But you have medicine. You know that every month, every day I swallow this medicine, and I always know what to do. And I know when I've not taken, I know this can happen. But there's also there's also that emotional wellness that you can get so much information, a lot of pressure. Your parents are fighting, somebody is insulting you, there is no food, but you can be able to say, yes, this has happened, but it's not permanent.
Okay.
This has happened, it's not my making. COVID is for the whole world. It's not about me, it's not about my mommy or my daddy. You're able to reason and overcome. Overcome that problem that has come. So that is the key, the thing that we found ourselves not being able to see stress and overcome it and go on with life.
Yeah.
So the people who are able to, who had open communications, and the parents would sit with the families and talk about their issues on a daily basis. Say, this has happened, so how do we get about this? We have been found unawares. We didn't have any other source of income, so how can you get about this? Those are the families that you find, even in the 9 months, as a family they've grown stronger, they've been more bound, because parents have sat with their children and said, you can roll the groundnuts and sell at the doorstep. You can go and fetch something and you sell. Me, I'll go and get this. They have planned themselves. A lot of entrepreneur businesses have arisen this season for many people. And some people, they've lost it all in this season. So if you're well emotionally, it's easy for you to be able to see a problem
And find a solution
overcome
to it.
and be able to move on. So that is just it. That's why I'm saying it is not intentional. Whatever is happening in schools, it's not intentional. These children are just overwhelmed. They never handled it. They didn't successfully handle it in the times of the 9 months. And when they were not yet ready to handle, again they've been put with pressure, and the teachers are putting pressure. This is where we left the syllabus in the month of March. We are supposed to be finishing. We're supposed to be doing 2 terms in one term. What do you expect the children to do? Some of them lost their books. Some of them, the schools were flooded. Some of them, they've changed schools because they were schooling in Nairobi. They've suddenly found themselves in DC, in Wajir, because now the parents couldn't pay rent. So they're in new schools. And those teachers are telling them issues. They will fight.
So what I'm trying to get is, you're saying we have mentally disturbed students all over the country in schools, and nobody is addressing their mental health status. What can we do as a country, as a community, apart from having the correctional centers, which they could be taken after they have committed crimes, but what can we do to make sure they don't get to the extent where they need, or they feel they have the need to commit a crime, so that they can be heard or they can put across some information?
I think number one, it really comes to the government, because the government and the stakeholders, the society. Remember one thing, we never talk about mental illness. It's a family secret. It's a stigma. But what we know is that 1 out of every 5 people are mentally ill. 1 of every 5 people you meet, they are mentally sick. Fortunately, only maybe 1% of those mentally ill people land in the hospital. So, and they say in a lifetime, everybody has a mental disorder.
Wow.
In a lifetime, even 2 to 3 episodes. Of course, people only say women are the ones who become mad, because you become so mad when you're expectant because of the emotions
and the hormonal imbalances.
Hormones, yes. But everybody, scientifically, it's proven that 2 to 3 times in your lifetime you will become emotionally unstable. So if as a society we're able to embrace and say this is a normal thing, so when you are not feeling nice, can we talk about it? Because I remember we used to tell people, if you wake up in the morning and you're feeling you're moody, tell your partner, today I'm not right. So then the person says, or you can just have a password in the house, I'm blue, I'm feeling blue. And so nobody talks about it. So everybody plays cool, and they say by noon, people start talking.
That has been very helpful, I think, to even the viewers, and as the government even tries, to make sure that they continue the hunting of students who haven't returned back to school 10 days or almost 10 days after the reopening of schools, after a closure of almost 9 months, almost a year. We're still here wondering, where have we gone wrong, and what is going on with our students who are suddenly becoming violent? Thank you so much, Daktari, for having this discussion with me, and I wish to see you again next time.
Thank you so much. Maybe my parting shot would be that everybody should be everyone's keeper, and always get in touch. If you have an issue, there's always help out there. Reach out.
Thank you.